All right, welcome everybody. So we're seeing the attendees start to funnel in here. And hey, Jeff, we got you on here on the panelist as well. So starting to see the room fill up as you're coming in. If you don't mind, just going into the chat, typing in where you're calling in from. Always fun to see all the diversity that we have in founders and where they're calling in from on these types of events. For the record, I'm at my home in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's see where everybody else is. Monitoring the chat. All right, so yeah, Calvin over here is in Utah. We got Oklahoma over here from that's Archie. We got all right, New Jersey. Okay, we're getting in here. Brooklyn, Austin, Texas. Here's George. All right, Toronto, Utah, and Cali. Yeah, okay, so we got two in there. LA, New York, Los Angeles, Michigan. Okay, good stuff. A lot of diversity over here. We got anybody from the not in the US? Curious if we have any international folks calling in today. Yeah, we got New York, we got Florida, we got Miami, Palo Alto. Okay, the room is filling up. We're gonna give it, there's Jeff over there in Salt Lake, Canada. All righty. Well, we are super excited today. Josh, if you want to go ahead and get the slides up and running, we'll go ahead and start making our way through the content because we got a lot of good stuff to cover here today. So welcome everybody to our first annual Forecastr Friday event. So we have never done this before. This is actually content that we've been talking about doing for a long time now, where we actually get a real founder on, and then we actually build their real model in front of a live audience, right? So this has never been done before, at least by the Forecastr team. So we're super excited to really show you all how we get under the hood and how we tend to run these types of engagements. So Josh, if you want to go to the next slide, I want to talk through really quickly. Yep, just hit that. Yep, there you go. Just to talk through a really quick agenda for us today. We're going to meet all of our sponsors. So this event was sponsored by some really great people, and we want to make sure that you all are all aware of all the people that we have supporting us and supporting these types of events. I'll do a quick intro onto Forecastr, talk about who we are, why we exist, and then of course you're going to meet the hosts, me and Josh, who are going to be kind of running the event for you all today. We're going to hear from David, who's going to tell us all about his company and give us background on the company that we're building the model for. And then we're just going to get our hands dirty and we're going to start building. We're going to try to save as much time as we can for Q&A, but the heart and soul of today is just showing you all how we like to build models. So we'll see what we can do there, but we're going to keep it kind of as a laid back event, something that we can, you can just kind of get under the hood and see how we work. So these are the sponsors that we have helping us out with the event. I'm actually going to turn it over to Jeff Erickson, who's going to tell us a little bit more about these sponsors. So Jeff, if you want to come on and talk a little bit about them, that'd be great.
Great. If I can share my screen here. Okay, we've got some fantastic sponsors today and great partners as well. I wanted to give a shout out to the folks at Zendesk. Zendesk, great CRM solution. You can actually get it as if you're a startup founder, there's like a code here you can scan, or a QR code. And you can get an offer that gives you 6 months for free. So if you need like a sales CRM or things like that, fantastic solution, great for your customer service group as well, specifically for startups. So I want to give a shout out to the folks at Zendesk. Also, our next sponsor, we wanted to shout out Morrow, and I don't know if anybody from Morrow is on here or not. I didn't hear from them. Throw it in the chat if you are, and we can unmute you. If not, I'll just say, Morrow, you may have heard of GAN, or the Global Accelerator Network, or maybe the Global Startup Studio Network, GSSN. They both fall under the Morrow umbrella. Morrow is a phenomenal support organization for startups. So, shout out to the folks over there. They're fantastic to work with. If you're not familiar with them, check out GAN or GSSN. Okay, and I know Bree is on here, or at least I think she is. Calvin, are we able to unmute Bree and let her talk a little bit about Escalon, one of our other partners?
Yeah, I just permitted the talking. So, Bree, if you're able, you want to.
Are you on, Bree?
Yeah, I am. Thanks, Calvin. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, guys. Hi, everyone on the call. Happy to be here. My name is Brianne Rochelle. I am based in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I work in partnerships at Escalon Services. We provide an array of outsourced back office services like financial operations, people ops, so like fractional HR and risk ops. We on today's call, I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview on the FinOps side because it's super relevant, but we are currently servicing over 5,000 startups globally, and we're helping them scale their businesses through providing these services. So on the FinOps side, and how we work really well with Forecastr and their customers is we provide all of your day-to-day accounting and reporting to ensure that you have accurate, timely, and relevant financial data so that you or Forecastr can build an accurate and usable financial model or forecast. So it's super, super important to have your books in great shape in order to produce a good model. And today we're offering everyone on the call 50% off of our setup fees and $500 off tax filings if you choose to do your tax filings through us. So feel free to reach out to the Forecastr team and they can put you in touch with me, and I'll go ahead and drop my email in the chat too. But I'm really excited to see this and really excited to be working with you guys. So thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Bree. You can see why Escalon's a great partner and how it fits into your financial modeling as well. And then finally, I wanted to also give a shout out to the folks at QuickBooks. Just for being on this webinar, you're getting all these deals from all of our partners. And QuickBooks is one. QuickBooks is an accounting solution, probably the most widely used for startups. And you can get through Forecastr, you can actually get a 30% discount. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is right there, and I can hook you up with that, or we can provide a link in the chat as well. So shout out to QuickBooks. And last but not least, shout out to the Startup Stack. If you are looking for discounts on things, on any type of software, it's actually now over $1 million in perks and benefits specifically for early stage startup founders. So shout out to the Startup Stack as well. All right, Logan, we'll let you kind of take over from here, and we're excited to learn more about financial modeling.
Okay, well, let's do it. Okay, so Josh, if you want to pull your slides back up, we'll make our way back in here.
Definitely.
Okay, sure thing. All right.
Can you see my screen? I don't think so.
Okay, yep.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, cool. So just to give you guys a really quick sense of Forecastr and what we are and how we exist, we're going to spend a lot of time today in the Forecastr platform. So you're really going to get in and understand how we work. But at a very high level, Forecastr is a replacement to Excel when it comes to building and managing financial models. So you're really going to see the value of the Forecastr platform in real time today. We can link up to your data sources. We're able to be shared across teammates. We have really great kind of collaborative tools and all of that stuff. So rather than just tell you about it, we're going to save it for the meat of the presentation where we're going to be in and actually using the Forecastr platform to build out a model. You want to hit the, yep. So really quick on me and Josh. So I'm Logan Burchett. I'm co-founder, chief operating officer over here at Forecastr. Built a ton of financial models as a fractional CFO for a number of years. And Josh is one of our trusted analysts over here at Forecastr. So, if you do work with Forecastr, the experience you're going to see today is very similar to the experience you would actually get as a customer, where an analyst like Josh would learn about your business, build out your financial model, show you how to work it, all of that good stuff. And now I want to introduce David, who is going to talk a little bit about his business. So David, if you're ready, we'd love to hear a little bit about what you're working on before we jump in and start building a model out for you.
Sure. All right. I'm David Pachkofsky. I'm the founder of Dapper Care, and Dapper Care is, I'll give you just a brief background on myself real quick. I've been in startups for 25 years. I'm old. And Dapper actually is my 14th company that I've launched. So I'm a glutton for punishment, but I'm a software engineer by trade, but I, built one of the first email marketing platforms back in, 2000, and I've had a marketing company ever since. And so all my companies have branched off of that. And my big claim to fame is I've sold nearly $1 billion in health and wellness products over the last 20 years. And so, but I didn't really believe in what I was selling. And that was the fact that it was herbal supplements, which is unregulated market. And I just felt like I was a snake oil salesman. And so with COVID and everything else, natural progression into the telehealth space and changing regulations, it made it, made people able to, access high quality, affordable healthcare through virtual, care. So I thought it was a natural progression for me to build another, build a company around that. And that's when I came up with Dapper Care. And it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't like to reference all my competitors, but like Hims and Hers is probably my biggest competitor, or Roman. So, and I don't recreate the wheel, but I do, I build something similar that I think that I can get a substantial piece of the market, and then I try to make it better. And so Dapper is, it's a vertically integrated multi-condition health and wellness platform that enables everybody, because we're to receive the care they need when they need it. So we're licensed in all 50 states, and our focus is on men's and women's sexual health, hair loss, skincare, and mental health initially. But the platform is set up to handle hundreds of different conditions. So we actually just did our soft launch 2 weeks ago. So, and we did a soft launch in Florida for the next, couple months. Well, we, make sure everything's going smoothly before we roll it out to the rest of the country. So, and we're just focusing on sexual health. So, like erectile dysfunction is like the biggest seller. Kind of funny thing to talk about, but it's yeah, I mean, it affects, over 75% of all males at some point in their life, especially over the age of 40. So it's a big deal. And over 70% of the customers are first-time buyers, meaning they've had this issue, but they just haven't addressed it up until now because they didn't feel comfortable going to see a doctor. The average American waits 27 days to see a doctor in this country. So it's like a pain in the butt. And so that's where we come in. So we allow people to go through an online consultation that uses, artificial intelligence, and it identifies pain points and, possible complications and issues, and diagnoses, prescribes, and then and then connects the patient and the provider to actually communicate if they need to. Otherwise, you get your medication shipped to you within 48 hours, free of charge, for less than the typical co-payment. So we're a cash pay platform. Awesome. And we also, in addition to that, have mental health services, and we do personalized treatments. So each individual, based off of what the feedback that is captured through our online consultation, determines the course of action. But sometimes it's just a straightforward transaction, no different than if you're getting something off of Amazon. But if it's a complicated situation, we will overnight a PGX test, or pharmacogenomics test, to them, which can break down their whole genetic breakdown and determine like how medications are affecting them personally, and then we actually will compound the medication specifically for their needs. So, and we do some really cool stuff like Listerine type strips, sublingual strips for the medication that can go under your tongue, and takes only less than 10 minutes for it to work versus like an hour. So some cool stuff. But yeah, so I'm raising $3.5 million for this company. We're going through our seed round. I put about 250,000 of my own cash into it. I've got one investor. I haven't officially said I'm fundraising yet, but I'm getting ready. So we've got we're lining up investors. So
Well, good stuff, David. And hopefully we can help you out with on the financial side, to get you a great
Great.
financial model for that fundraise. So appreciate you giving that context. Now, I think, Josh, if you don't mind just opening up the model in Forecastr, I'd love to just start getting our hands dirty and jumping in. And Josh is going to kind of like lead us through how we want to get this thing built out for your company.
great.
Absolutely. Okay, so first of all, like whenever you're working with Forecastr analysts, you'll send in just a little bit about your company. So I've done a little research, David, on Dapper Care so far. And I have a bunch of questions for you. What we just went through is kind of the concept behind your company.
Right.
And when it comes to financial modeling, a lot of my questions are now going to be focused on the mechanics, right? Like, how does this work exactly? But long story short, we're just going to go through it. I'll ask you some questions, and as we're talking, we'll just build. So first things first, let's start with the customer, right? In very straightforward terms, like super simple, we're selling direct to consumer, right? And do you have any distinct categories of customers, or do they all kind of fall in one bucket?
Well, I mean, so it depends on what treatments, but let's focus on what we launched with, which is just men's sexual health. So our target audience is males, age 35 to 70, let's say. Yeah, millennials. So primarily, so it's pretty broad in that sense. So
cool. No, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So we've identified our target audience. And now when it comes to financial modeling, we have two ways to go about this, right? One, we can build out like specific strategies that we're going to use to go out and get these customers and how many customers we project will come through each way. Or we can set some simple sales goals about, on a monthly basis, how many customers are we aiming to bring in this month?
right.
Do you have specific strategies in mind, or would you like to go the sales goal route?
As far as well, I don't know how specific you want, but I mean, my differentiator, like I said, is just that fact that unlike everybody else, or at least the big players that I'm aware of in my space, I've actually been in this space selling to these same customers for 23 years. And
Perfect.
so because I have a direct to consumer, marketing company. So, and we specialize in, it's continuity based. So it's everything is on a subscription base. So it's a recurring revenue model with an average order value of around, $70, $75. So, and, we take an omni-channel approach. So with our marketing. So it's, it's aggressive media buying. We have a programmatic media buying platform that we can, through all the social media companies we market through. And then we, a lot of we have some pretty cool referral programs and stuff that we get, rolling. So.
Okay. Well, let's start with those two strategies.
Sure.
So I'm just going to come up and add some paid advertising funnel here. And then I'm also going to add what was that?
Influencers too.
Influencers? Cool. Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I didn't see all these, but yeah, I mean, and we have an affiliate network, so.
I'm not feeling pressure to build out all of these exactly on the call. So okay. I'm going to start with paid ads, and then let's add in this I like let's see, customer referrals. That's what I was looking for. And then maybe we'll add a other bucket for the time being. But generally what I'd say here is like best advice, building a customer acquisition section is you want to focus on your top 2 or 3 strategies that you feel really confident in. So we will do just that. Sorry, I gotta move all these Zoom windows out of my way. Cool. And building out these funnels will let us make some estimates. So for instance, let's start with our paid ads funnel. a common funnel that we're going to see here is where we're going to say, you know, how much budget are we going to put behind this channel? What's our average cost per click, and then a conversion rate off of that. Any ideas, David, of what this might ballpark to be?
What the budget is?
Yeah.
I mean, I can give you specifics, but it's quite significant. I mean, it's changing all the time, but see what I have on here right
That's
now.
pretty expected in a D2C brand, and I would expect it's going to scale over time. So,
but overall, I mean, I would say, you know, it's over $1 million, I think.
oh, on a monthly basis.
Oh, on a monthly basis. Well, break that down, divided by 12. So
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, so let's take that. We're just going to go 1 million here, divided by 12. So we'll just go. I'm just going to round 83K a month.
Or, yeah. Maybe $100,000.
And then, do you have any estimate on what a cost per click might be?
Yeah. I mean, I can give you all that stuff. It's
perfect. Sounds like we found the right data-driven guy here.
yeah, well, I should know this off the top of my head, but
it doesn't have to be exact, but just something to put us in the ballpark.
yeah. I don't, you know, what is it? I don't know if I know what the cost per click is right now.
You can just throw in like $2 or $3 just to get, you know, just to throw something in
That's
here.
what I'm thinking it's probably somewhere.
Yeah.
around- Yeah,
Like $2.
I don't know what the specific number is.
All right. Well, good deal. I'm going to, you can see in the background, it's already projecting out a certain number of customers coming in each month. I'm going to take the liberty of just adding an assumption that we might increase our budget over time. Maybe just on an annual basis. Sounds like that's what you've been thinking in before. So maybe if we bump this by 10% a year, does that sound within your target?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, usually
I think that'll give us a good starting place.
I mean, that's a good place to, I mean, from a modeling standpoint, usually, yeah, are conservative. So yeah.
Cool. Let's take a look at customer referrals. So building on a customer referral section, often we look at what is the percentage likelihood that a new customer that came in last month is going to refer another customer. And then this will inform about how many customers we expect to get from referrals. So speaking in that sense of realism, like what's the likelihood you get a customer that they come in and send a referral to another person?
What's the percentage of them? Like the conversion rate on that, I guess?
I would first, let's say, what's the likelihood? Like say you had 100 customers, how many of them make a referral?
I don't know, maybe like 10%.
Cool.
I think that sounds about right.
Say 10%, and then conversion rate off that. Again, we don't have to be too specific there, but maybe we take like 15%.
Yeah.
Get a referral.
Yeah. So I was looking, by the way, I've got 1.1 million for my first year marketing, but then I've got going up by almost doubling it every year.
Okay, well let's adjust.
So yeah, 1, 2, 4, 10, 18.
So if we put a 100% increase here every 12 months, is that fair?
Yeah.
I would perhaps make a suggestion here. I think I see this commonly, people building models on an annual basis. I'd probably like to smooth this out a little bit rather than just increasing the budget once a year and just going with it. Might happen more gradually than that.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely will fluctuate because as we get into the, year 3, 4, we'll probably start doing, some TV and radio, some more expensive, marketing, so advertising. So
okay, well, tell you what, let's could you give me like the upper range of where this gets to, like at end of year 5, like what was the budget again?
At the end of year 5, it's let's see, we're at 18.8 million.
Okay, so I'm just going to, instead of just going annually, I'm going to smooth this out over the course of the model and ramp it up to, we'll say, $1 million a month. maybe 1.2 million a month, get you to 18. That way we have a little more, just a smoother projection here rather than this little stair step you can see already. We've got more linear growth, which is probably going to be more realistic, like true to reality. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I do want to, notate that from experience, since this is something I'm just saying it's a word of caution, but the new founders don't take into consideration in this model is that if you ramp up too fast, I mean, it's hyper growth is awesome, but if you ramp up too fast, you don't take everything into consideration. That's could be your demise, because like your merchant accounts can't handle it, and then the banks freeze your funds, and things of that nature. So that's typically why we can actually scale a lot faster than what we like our model shows, but it's just the merchant accounts can't handle it. So
Okay.
or it could be an inventory issue or something along those lines. So anyways, yeah.
Cool. No, I think that's a really good call out. Let's keep it here and then try and see what it spits out. But as you can see, I mean, very easy to play with these assumptions in Forecastr, so it's not like we're losing too much ground here. So, well, I think this puts us in a pretty good spot. Let's take a look at the revenue side. So, from a revenue perspective, I'm thinking mechanically here. And I looked over your website, and it looks like you guys offer a monthly subscription, right? And there is the opportunity for your subscribers to purchase additional things, make additional transactions. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yeah, you enter into the subscription by literally just going to the website and getting prescribed a medication, and then you're automatically basically enrolled. So and then the auto ship just kicks in. So you're just getting your medication, and then at that point you have access to the provider 24/7 for that treatment.
All right. And I think, did you call out your average
cost? Yeah.
What was the monthly price of your subscription again?
Well, it depends on the medication, and it depends on what milligram you get and how many you're getting every month. But the average order value is is around $70 to $80. So it's about $70. I built the model at. So
okay, cool. Let's plug that in there. And tell me about your churn rate. Monthly churn rate, any ballpark estimate here?
Sure, I can give you my exact figures. Let me look here. Like 30%. Does that sound about right?
30%. Cool. I feel like I remember seeing that in the stuff you sent over as well, so that makes sense.
Pretty early.
Tell me mechanically about the transactions here. Would it be fair to say that a certain percentage of your subscribers are making additional transactions, and that would lead, and that has another average order value?
Yeah. So, and I built my model off of what I do well, and that's volume discounting and upsells, which is pretty typical of someone in the e-commerce space or whatever. But but with ours, everything that we offer through the platform is subscription, is a prescription only. So it doesn't matter, even if you can buy the stuff at Target, for instance, we still offer it. It's a prescription only. And we do that because it's then the physician is aware of everything that they're taking, putting in their body, and it's good for the merchant accounts. They don't get have issues with like herbal supplements and stuff like that. So,
Cool.
But percentage, I would say, I don't know if I have it on here, but typically I think it's about 20% usually we'll do at some point, we'll do the add-on or an upsell. Okay. So yeah, if you look at like Hims, for example, because they're our biggest competitor and they're a public company, so it's great. You can look at all of their models or their financials and stuff, but they started out with, on average, treating each patient with one treatment, and over the last 4 years or whatever, now on average it's 2 treatments, and because the treatments are add-ons, they're upsells.
And I'll note really quick for everybody watching that what Josh is doing here is he's building out a custom revenue stream for David. So one of the benefits of Forecastr is, just like Excel, we can go in and build custom formulas. We can add custom metrics, things like that. So he's taken all the information that David just gave, and he's actually building something totally custom to him, just like you would an Excel document. So.
And this is great because, we've got pretty good, profit margins, but it's not always the case. And, a lot of times your profit is all coming from these separate deals, from the upsells and stuff. So.
Yep, 100%. So, okay. So yeah, we've got some metrics that Josh is adding here. And now what he's doing is he's just added all of the relevant metrics that David just talked about. And he's going to be building these formulas to link them all together. So we're going to have the ability to, once it's all put together, and we'll kind of show how this works. He can tweak the knobs. He can show what happens if we increase our price, if we decrease our churn rate, and just really give you a sense of kind of the biggest power metrics of the model here. So once he's done with this, maybe Josh, we can play with those levers a little bit and just see what the implications are.
Yeah, totally. Let's do it.
Okay, so now we're just adding all these up and then building out the revenue formula and linking it all together. And this is what we do live, by the way, for all of our clients. Whenever they come into onboarding, this is exactly the type of work that we do for them. So,
so just to get some inputs from you, David, what's the likelihood of subscribers making an additional purchase each month? What percentage of customers do that?
Each month. So let's see, I've got it set at, let's see here. I've got ancillary price. So let's see, growth is 10%. I've got growth in average one-time purchase, 10%. Yeah, so it's, for example, we've got prescription revenue for the first year is 1.5 million. Ancillary products for Dapper, which is the male treatment, is 4.77 or 477,000. And then women's treatments is 200. So 4 or 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know. So it's about, the revenue total is going to be almost half of what yeah.
Okay. And what's the average order value of that?
Yeah.
What's the average order value of an additional purchase?
It's actually about the same as the subscription, because it's another, maybe a little bit lower, but because it's discounted, but it's another treatment. It's another medication. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, now that we've got these two things strung together, Josh, I think one of the things that could be really interesting to do is just run a quick experiment and just kind of see. So David, one of the questions that we like to ask, and really just to show the power of a financial model, is just understanding what has the greatest impact on your business. Like, what are the levers that have the greatest impact? So, based off of what Josh just built out, some of the assumptions, if you want to flip back to monthly, Josh should see the underlying metrics, Yeah. So if we do this, we can see that, these blue cells, if you will, right here, those are your inputs, right? These are all of the metrics that are ultimately building on the revenue. So I want to focus on 2 right now, which is under the monthly subscriptions. I want to focus on, let's look at the monthly subscriptions there, Josh.
Yes, so I just realized I needed to reconnect this to the different metric.
Okay, no worries. Okay, cool. So the ones that I want to focus on are price and churn rate on your monthly subscription. So one exercise that we like doing is let's first, Josh, see what is revenue on this line item. Call it, at the end of the model. If you scroll all the way out, all the way to the right, what is
monthly revenue?
Yeah, monthly revenue. Right? Yep, 2.82 million. Okay, cool. So first, let's increase the price by 10%. So that's going to be $77. Okay, so we were at 2.82 before. So what are we once we increase the price by 7%? If we scroll all the way over, 3.11. Okay, so if we focus on price, we're going to get to 3.11 million. Okay, now let's change the price back to where it was before. And now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease your churn rate by 10%, and we're going to take that to 27%. Okay. So we hit done, and now we're at 3.13. Okay. So this is a really powerful insight for you, David. So we now know that you need to prioritize keeping your customers around more than you need to prioritize getting the most dollars out of them. Okay. So what we just found is if you can reduce your churn rate, then that's going to have a larger impact on revenue than it is if you increase your prices, right? This is the type of stuff that we like to work with clients on. Once the model's built, then we try to see what insights like that we can uncover, and then we can advise you on where to focus. In this case, we would advise you, based off the math, to try to decrease your churn rate as much as possible. Think through campaigns, come up with more discounting, things like that, because it's a very important metric for you.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, so just wanted to kind of like showcase the value and the utility there. And so Josh, maybe now we could just kind of move on and start building out a few expenses before we kind of do a model review and open it up for Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. So first question maybe is expenses coming along with your cost of goods sold, David. So do you have
I do.
either like a gross margin percentage or an average cost per order?
Yep.
What do you work on?
So let's see. Got. Yeah, I mean, I have everything. Let me just find it. So cost per unit is what's this one? Oh, here. I don't know what happened here. Why is it not in here? Oh, here. Okay. So we've got prescription revenue, prescription product cost, prescription. So you want the percentage you said, or you want the average cost? So percentage of total revenue, product cost is roughly 18.2%.
Cool.
8.2%.
Or percentage of product costs. Yeah. So
Let's do that.
So in a dollar amount, if you're looking for that, then we could say 12.74.
or three. Yeah. I think that's
12.74.
$12.74 per unit. That's right.
All right, we'll stay per unit here. We could honestly kind of do that either way in the forecast, but I think this is a great direction to go here. So I've added up, just recapping mechanics. Every subscriber is getting one prescription a month, and then some are making additional purchases. So what I've done is I've totaled the I've just totaled the number of orders, basically. We're going to multiply that by our average cost.
because I've got 18% for the percentage of revenue for product costs, and then for prescriptions, and then I've got percentage of total revenue for ancillary products. It's 9.6%.
Okay. In like, for instance, I mean, just to give you an insight to normal day to day, right? Normally we build these models out for clients over the course of about 30 days, and we'll get a little more granular like that. For the sake of the moment, I think this average is going to represent things okay for us, right?
Yep.
But like my advice to you, I think I would include both of those in the model, right? And make that differentiation as you go on and commit to a financial model. But you can see our calculation spits out our costs here, and I'm just going to do a quick sanity check in my own mind to make sure that calculation is working correctly by visiting our income statement. And I just want to, within the platform, just tell it that this is a cost of goods sold, and then take a look at what our gross margin looks like there. So you can see that's coming in, and I like to look at things on the yearly view sometimes. So this is just staying consistent. 80% gross margin. Does that feel right there, David?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
Cool.
So this took me about a month to get to this point. So I wish I had this so far.
I love it.
The math.
We hear that all the time, and I think one of the benefits of Forecastr is just having this type of conversation, like getting out of the box of doing it yourself, really does speed things up, especially doing it with people that just do this all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not alone.
Rates end up spending a lot of money. Well,
So let's take a look at some of your other budgets. I looked through some of the material you sent over, and this is just pulling from that. But I see, we have some credit card fees, which these usually hover around 2.9, 3%. Does that feel right for you?
I wish, no, not in my world, but I mean, for low risk, it is. Let's see, what do I have it set at? Typically, I'm used to being, because the nutraceuticals are considered high risk, so they're more like on like 6%. But let me see. But yeah, I think that's fine. We're gonna be using we use Stripe, so
Oh, nice.
right now. So
Cool,
yeah, that's fine. We can roll with that.
Stick with 3.
Yeah.
All right, we'll add that in. A lot of other expenses, which I actually really liked from your model, started with a base budget and then added on a percentage of revenue. So for instance, our other G&A budget starts, do you have like a intended budget for this year?
Yeah, overall, like with everything.
Like, no, just like this was just your other category, for instance.
Other. And what's considered other? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's pretty broken down here. So
Okay.
I've got.
You can point me in the direction, just start at the top of your list.
Okay.
Let's see where it falls.
This is cost of goods. Here's I'm on tab. Okay, so I've got everything. I mean, you want salaries?
Let's stick with expenses first.
Expenses. Okay. Yeah, credit card fees. I mean, I just have dollar amounts for that. So what is the percentage? Yeah, so I had 3.9%. What did you say for it? I can't remember.
3, we can bump it to 3.9 for a reason.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Hey,
that-
Josh,
that includes chargebacks, credit card fees, and insurance for that. Yeah.
cool. I was gonna say we have about 15 minutes left. So I would say, Josh, what might be nice is just to go into the people section, add just a few folks, and then we can open it up for Q&A, or zoom out and then open it up for Q&A and look at the the statements as well. So
Let's do it.
obviously not gonna be able to add everybody, but we can add a few folks.
Okay. Yeah, so let's scroll up to your hiring plan. I saw your admin team here. We've got some plans for some admin team. You want to throw out just some salaries that you're ballparking? I'm thinking like some salaries and when you anticipate hiring these people.
Yes. Well, so I have a team of 18 on my already. So, but I'm not paying all of them, thank God, right now. But so for instance, chief operating officer, 180,000.
Cool.
Actually, hopefully it'll be less than that.
And they're working currently, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So I'll set their start date today.
But they're up till now, they're like, yeah, they're kind of a part-time-ish. So
Okay.
I mean, they have other gigs. So
Yeah. Do you have an assumptions around taxes and benefits? I usually see this hovering around 20% of salaries for a full benefit package.
let's see what I have. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the COO. Let's do a few more.
Yeah. I don't know. You want to pick like what?
We got next one on the list, the CFO.
Yeah, I mean they're all about the same. So well, my CFO is less. Hopefully he's not on the call. But no, 96,000.
Okay.
By the way, Forecastr does fractional CFO services. So
Yeah, that's what that is actually. So
yeah, there we go.
these are all theoretical, just in case anyway, watch the recording. No.
All right.
let's just hit it rapid fire, and I mean, no pressure to give me like the exact numbers.
Yeah,
but
no,
let's
I can tell you. So what do you want? Another one?
DMO.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, let's do how about a Q&A guy? Like, yeah, Q&A on the dev side, 85,000.
Yeah, let's pull that up. And let's this is a great piece of functionality I want to throw out. Like maybe we just make a development team here.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to go through and choose the specific start dates for all these people, right? That's a little granular.
No,
But we were like, this is a position I need to hire multiple of. You're going to pay them on average 85K a year. Plan on their benefits. And then what I can do in Forecastr is change this from a specific hire to a modeled hire. And I can create some sort of pattern around when I hire them. So for instance, you know, maybe we're going to start this at hiring one person. Like maybe I start this hiring one person at the end of the year. And I add the assumption that I'm just going to hire an additional person to this team every 8 months or something, right? And I think this is a great way to, you know, one, make the model a little more manageable for you, but also scale things in a more defensible way. Like it's harder to be like, you know what, investors, hey, like I know exactly when I'm going to hire all these people for the next 5 years, than it is to say, look, based on our current growth trajectory, I think I'm going to need to hire one person every 8 months.
right.
It's a little more realistic, right? So I'll plug that in there, and you can see this orange line is that dev team just getting a little bigger over time.
Plus, staff is a significant portion of your costs, you know, yeah, so. I mean,
Absolutely.
Big time. Speaking of that, Josh, and maybe since we've got about 12 minutes left and we're not going to be able to obviously get everybody taken in, maybe we can just take a quick, you know, check on what the income statement, you know, the financial statements are showing and what the dashboard's showing, and then we can kind of open it up and see if anybody in the audience has any questions that we want to start digging through.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the financials. So keeping in mind that we have not gotten very far entering through the expenses, we're probably a little light in the operating expenses here, but you can see that we have numbers all filled out, right? The output of our model, is a full 3-statement financial model. So we've got our income statement here, we've got a balance sheet, we've got a statement of cash flows, projecting out these events. So you can see that, you know, if we go on and we hit these sales goals, we understand what our cost of goods sold will be. And then theoretically, once we're done with this section, we understand what our operating expenses will be. Over the course of time, and especially in startups, it's very normal once we add up all the costs, all the operating costs, to see some losses down here for the first period of time, right? But eventually we want to know that if we continue to hit our sales goals, we're catching up to a point of profitability, right? There is some point on the timeline. And then we want to come over and make sure that our statement of cash flows tells us, you know, how much cash do we need to get to that point? How much cash are we burning? How much cash are we going through as we try to get to that profitability point? So we may often see some finance cash flows, which this section you can think of as any funds coming in related to like investors or long-term debt. These are your financing cash flows, the way you're financing your business. Ideally, what's going to happen, especially for startups, is maybe you go out and raise some money. You're going to see some big financing cash flows here. We're going to see some negative outflows of cash here in the operating cash flows. And over time, we want to reach this point where the business starts generating positive operating cash flows and starts funding its own development, right? So very easy to see all of that in Forecastr once we go through the whole process. But anything you want to add to that, Loading?
No, nothing that I think you covered it super well, Josh. And I would say let's just head on over to the dashboard really quick, just to get a really quick visual of what all of this looks like whenever, you know, if you're fundraising or if you just want to get a really quick beat on the business. You can see we've got some nice graphs that are in here, let you know who you're going to be hiring, what your expenses look like. And then let's go to the dashboard V2 just super quick, Josh, just so that you can get a sense of kind of like how the dashboard is going to be evolving and changing over time. But you can just get a really quick sense, you know, this is a very high level, just how's the company doing? What are we shooting for? All of that. all of that good stuff. Okay. So I do want to make sure that we have some time because I'm sure that there's questions from the audience. I will say this. If you're interested, if you like what you saw and you're interested in working with Forecastr, we can build you a model like this, just like this. Our base package is going to be $2,000 a year. That includes a full model build with an analyst, just like Josh, that's going to help you, think through the assumptions and get a great model built that you can showcase to investors and things like that. And we are offering a $500 discount off of that. So that would only be $1,500 for the first year. And I will also note that really, I think the best deal that we offer here at Forecastr is that if you want to continue to work with an analyst like Josh on an ongoing basis, if you want to work with them every month or every quarter, we have packages for that starting as low as $500 a month, where you're going to have not just a model built that you can showcase for investors, but an actual analyst that is going to meet with you on a regular basis to help you understand the key points of the model, help you think through targets, help make sure that what you put in the model is something actionable and not something you just put in the deck and forget about. Right. So that's really the value that we add. And that's an offer that we want to pass on to everybody here on the call today. And with that, we have 7 minutes left for the top of the hour. So I do want to open it up and see if there's any questions from the audience, that we want to dive into. And David, if you have any questions as well, I mean, we're happy to answer those too.
Why did I pay so much?
Yeah. We're a bargain, and that's the beauty of technology is we're able to get hyper efficient with this stuff with the tech that we built. And full transparency, I used to be one of those fractional CFOs that would charge people $10,000-$15,000 for a model based out of Excel because that's how much it took a lot of time to do that. Now we built our software in such a way that you saw how quick it was for Josh to just knock that out. And that's a really high quality model that we just built as well. And that's, like I said, the beauty of technology. So we just pass that savings along to everybody else that we can give them a great experience.
What does it cost if you just want to use the software on your own completely? Can you do that?
Yeah, if you want to use it by yourself, then we're going to build it for you. And that's kind of like the white glove onboarding, but we only do kind of like, we don't technically charge for the onboarding but we kind of do in the fact that we only do annual subscriptions. So the platform cost is $2,000 a year. And we, include a white glove onboarding on top of that. So, yeah. And actually, I'm kind of misspeaking there. We actually do have an onboarding fee. We're just waiving it for today's event. So the platform fee would be $2,000, discounted by $500.
So it's roughly a little bit less than $100 or a little bit more than $100 a month. So
a little bit, just a little bit. Yep. And I'll note some of the features that we weren't able to show today was the fact that we can connect with your accounting. So, if you're using QuickBooks or something like that, we can directly pull all of that data in on a month-to-month basis, do real-time variance analysis, real-time reporting, all of that good stuff that you can't do in Excel.
And I'll actually just double tap on that. I do probably most of my work here at Forecastr with customers who do hire me on to manage their model full-time. And as you compare your forecast to your actuals month over month, you just start to see that the forecast gets really tight. So that's probably one of the coolest features is just connecting founders to their numbers, getting them a really tight forecast, a tight feel around what's happening with their cash, which is a lot harder to do in Excel because a lot of bouncing back and forth. It's much harder to see, but that's probably an underrated feature a little bit. It's awesome.
And then you can create your own custom reports and stuff, right? Graphs and things for investor updates and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we have downloadable, you saw kind of on the dashboard, you can actually download those and put them in a report. We can't customize the dashboard yet, but that is a feature that we're actively working on, or we're going to be working on. So
I will note that though, you can do a little CSV export of the model and obviously visualize the data in any way you want from there. So
yeah. Calvin, I think I saw somebody was raising their hand. Is that
Yeah, so it looks like Tina is raising her hand here. I'm going to allow her to talk if that's all right by you guys.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
Hi there. I'm actually a CFO. So much like you, Logan, this is a breath of fresh air. I'm wondering if there's a way to see, as we typically would build in Excel, a summary of assumptions, like, you know, you'd have a people tab. So you guys, I can see how you created the tabs, but is there a place like as a CFO where I can go in and see the assumptions, see how they change over time and see where the problem might be coming from?
Phenomenal question, Tina. Hey, Josh, do you want to go back to the platform really quick and click the all metrics tab,
Yeah.
the assumptions? Yep, and show that. So this is going to show you every assumption that is in the model, and you can actually filter by just the inputs, and you can star. You see that little star by the metric name, all of the inputs that you want. So if you want to filter by all of the assumptions for assets, people, revenue, anything that you want, that's all done here. And you can see there's even a little graph on the side that shows how it changes over time as well. So we've got all of that right there, and this is a great place just to kind of tweak, you know, knobs and levers and things like that to give you really, really deep access and understand kind of what's happening in your model. And by the way, Tina, I'll note that if you're a CFO and you work with multiple clients, we should definitely get in touch because we do significant bulk discounting and we let people pay monthly if they're CFOs.
Yes,
So
Jeff and I are already talking.
perfect. Okay, great.
One quick other question is Excel downloads. I know that's something that you guys are working towards, and you have the custom one right now. Can you talk a little bit about where you're going in the future with that? There's so many times where I have to tweak things for a particular audience.
Yep. So a couple of things that I'll note on that. One is, you know, I already touched on almost everything that you can do in Excel, you can do in Forecastr, so you can tweak things as needed in the platform. Now, that being said, if you do, for whatever reason, need to get it into Excel, you can do that now. There's just the formulas won't be intact. So that's an active problem that we are working on, as I'm sure Mitch told you. So the steps that we're doing towards making that happen is we're actually changing out the calculation logic of the platform to have full parity functionality with Excel. So if you wanted to do a, you know, sum if function or something like that, you could directly in our platform using the library of functions in Excel, which means that you can just download the entire model using those functions as well. So that's just to give you a preview of what the future of Forecastr looks like. But it's a really great question, Tina.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Looks like we do have one more question in the Q&A if you guys are ready for another one.
Ready for another one?
Awesome. Logan, and this is a little bit different of a question. Why did you found Forecastr? What was the aha moment? Great platform.
Yeah.
This is from
that is a great question. So I was a fractional CFO for a number of years. I worked with a ton of different companies between seed and Series B and built a bunch of different financial models, charged a lot of money in so doing. And I saw this massive gap where we would build these great models, we deliver them to clients, we'd have to charge them a lot of money, and then they just didn't understand them and they couldn't use them and they weren't getting full functionality out of them. And it would be too expensive to keep us around to help teach them how to use the model because it was all done in Excel, so it's not very efficient. So it was just one of these things where we were providing value to clients and we were making money doing it, but I just never got the sense that the clients were fully satisfied because they didn't fully get it. They didn't fully understand it. So I really wanted to build a platform that was easy to use. It was an online integrated web app. It had a great UI. It was easy to coach people on. And that's why I built Forecastr, you know, and 650 happy clients later, I'm really glad that we did so. And it's been such a journey and I'm very thankful for it. Thanks for the question.
I'm going to add just a quick thought to that too. Like one of the things I love working with clients at Forecastr is the fact that like you come in, we not only give you a model, but we also teach you how to talk about the model. Like during our 30-day period, our goal is to give you a model that you're really comfortable with, that you can go talk to investors about. And I think that's been one of the most differentiating facts for me as far as like, is this work rewarding? Is like you start to deliver models that people are comfortable talking about, not a model that they have but can't explain. So thought that just kind of went along with what Logan was saying. And that's something I think a lot of customers enjoy. So
100% agree. Yeah. Thanks for adding that, Josh. And, you know, we're very happy with the work that we do every single day and the value that we provide. And it's absolutely very rewarding, I think. So Now, I know that we're 1 minute past the top of the hour. I really want to be cognizant of everyone's time. So I just want to close things off by saying thank you all so much for joining. This is actually going to be a regular event for us. So we are actually going to be, I think every other Friday, we're calling them Forecastr Fridays, building live models in front of an audience with folks. So if you want to work with Forecastr, I think we provided links in order to do so. So please do fill that out. You're going to get in touch with our team. And if you want to check one of these out again, we're going to be doing this every other week. So thanks everybody for showing your support and showing up today. Thanks again for our sponsors. Thank you, Josh, for being awesome and building your model. And thank you, David, for being transparent and jumping on with us and working with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it, everyone. Thank you all so much.
Take care, guys. Good luck.
Bye.